All right, everyone, welcome to the first conference championships for the East Overwatch conference. I just said conference 2 times, it's fine. Today we are going to be focusing on a couple of games that we hope you are enjoying. First off is the University of Connecticut, our number 7 in overall standings, number 2 in the East, taking on Villanova. Sadly, haven't won a game yet, but maybe, just maybe, today will be their first. I'm, of course, Zohan, joined by Ocean. And Ocean, you've seen these teams a lot more than I have, so help me break these down.
Well, Connecticut has probably been like a top 4 team over the course of the season. They've had a couple of really difficult games in their schedule, and also they had a really poor start to the spring split, which is kind of why they're only sitting in 7th right now. They lost their star flex support player RuPaul to Illinois State Redbirds. You of course know them from being a really strong contenders roster. Just to start off with Villanova, when they were setting their expectations for this season, they didn't really expect to go out here and get results. They are here to develop, and I would say they have done that over the course of the season. At the start of the season, they were struggling to win team fights, letting alone maps. But now we're seeing them winning maps a little bit more consistently. Villanova is a team that has improved over the course of the season. That was their goal.
That was their goal. And our first map, of course, going to be Lijiang Tower. The fact that Connecticut played Brawl surely gives them the advantage on Lijiang, especially since they can also switch to dive, and this seems to heavily favor Connecticut here.
Well, yeah, of course, on Control Center and Night Market, you can run those Brawl compositions or variations of those Brawl compositions. And one thing that's even better for Connecticut is they're very, very active. They like to set the tempo. They like to be very, very aggressive. If you play aggressive on Lijiang Tower, you're always going to have an advantage. Even Lijiang Garden, which you will see some Wrecking Ball, for example, in that map. If you're playing a little bit more actively, you should, for example, take the pillars around those maps, and those are really important locations to take. And so playing actively is something that Connecticut will look to do on this first map.
Yeah, of course, in Connecticut, using that Symmetra from Samo, able to TP straight to point. And already they're trying to push into it. Gryffindor goes down. Your boy Wings, known for his aggression, but not immediately charging in too much, going with the rest of this team. And I don't know how I feel about Cassidy Hanzo right now.
It doesn't really... I mean, it's not great, is it, right? It's kind of 2 DPS that accomplish the same goal. But one thing that is good with those 2 heroes in this scenario is if you manage to get different angles in and around the point, which is where Connecticut are wanting to set up, you can have your Hanzo on the left, your Cassidy on the right, and those are 2 threats that Ezdirk or Nelsie or Samo or even a Helpful Fox will have to deal with.
Yeah, indeed. Your boy Wings has this shatter. Probably waiting to use it, and does! That is a massive shatter already for Connecticut. I don't think this was 2 fights and only 20% on the board.
Touches the spawn door, gets the trophy. That's exactly what you want in your first game. Just a reminder of what is at stake today. Top 2 of the conference lock themselves into playoffs. Connecticut are already sealed in playoffs. Villanova, of course, will be looking to attempt to make playoffs. It's going to be very, very unlikely that they do, but they're starting to get a little bit of a foothold in this team fight. They've managed to get through the choke.
They've managed to get through the choke, indeed. And okay, so this photon barrier though, it beautifully used, nullifying a lot of that amp matrix, and already they're all going down. And yeah, as you mentioned before, Villanova can't even make 3rd place, which most teams are fine with. Like if they make 3rd, they're just out.
Yeah, so this is not interesting. Your boy Wings in the spawn. They're going to go aggressive here with the self-destruct. Not quite finding anything.
Yeah, not finding anything, and of course, now that your boy Wings, that fabled aggression they go for, actually going not in their favor, as Derek takes it, using that self-destruct, and that is a good self-destruct, but they're stalling for so long that the respawns are slowly going to start going back, and look how low they already are, but of course, healing of Blue Falcons. Gryffindor used shatter somewhere, but it will be the flip, but it is going to be final fight territory if Connecticut are able to flip it.
this Dragon Strike for Tiger is probably going to be the most important Dragon Strike of the season, right? You don't really have anything else to use. I mean, you're at Matrix Zone, Connecticut out temporarily, but it's not going to really be enough. This is going to be a really important Dragon Strike.
Very important indeed, and doesn't do enough as Derek already starting us off, taking out Baptiste. Critical. Amp Matrix is gone. They're not going to have it. Everyone's gone. Capped the point. Can anyone touch? This is crucial that someone touches now. 5 seconds left. Potentially happy Sparrow. Like don't think so, but I have to hope out for looking at Lucio. Your boy Wings goes down. And, okay, my Fraz able to touch. It gets demeched very quickly. Photon barrier instantly used, and this is already over. In Connecticut, bit of aggressive play there, but kind of a nice night market for them.
Yeah, no, it seemed pretty simple. I think Connecticut, you might see them lose a couple of team fights in this series or across this series because, well, they are going to try and have fun with it. They are going to try and test the limits, test the waters. They might make an aggressive play later on in the day that has been practiced against a team like Villanova or a weaker team in this division or conference. So we will see that from Connecticut, I think, in this series. We will see them kind of testing the waters a little bit, what they can get away with potentially in the later stages of the day, and of course tomorrow when we're looking to wrap up this championship conference.
I'm looking at the fact that they're going Zarya, Brig, Ana for Villanova. Gonna be very slow against the fact that there's Connecticut still on this Lucio. Nels, of course, switching over to that Junkrat. And yeah, Tyga's on Junkrat too, but how are you going to just deal with this mobility? Well, that's one way to start, though. Okay, maybe Brigitte, good choice here. Your boy Wings aggression going down, but they're not able to capitalize on it. They're still playing a bit passive. And okay, Ezdrake's gonna get out of, actually not gonna get out of mech, and suddenly this is turned on its head, and they actually capped first.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple for Connecticut. They got to the point first, and they able to control the area around the point and the important chokes that surround it, especially when you have a hero like Junkrat. It becomes nigh on impossible to approach the objective, and that's exactly what Connecticut were able to do.
Yeah, indeed. Already this higher, and that fight was over before it even started. If I was to be completely honest there.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a really difficult task. We see teams at the highest level kind of get stuck in this position because dealing with this spam for this ultra small door or choke that we call it is going to be really difficult. However, Helpful Fox getting a little bit greedy as Dirk as well means that Connecticut for now have to back away from this choke, and it now means that the most important part of the map to hold is gone, and Villanova can take some space.
Yeah, definitely some crucial space. Matrix gonna be invested. Samo peeks out, gets the right click off, takes out Tasia, but goes down themselves, but it doesn't matter. Nels just 3 already. I think might have just absolutely incredible work, and yeah, that early pickup didn't help them there.
Yeah, and look at the ultimates now for Connecticut, right? You can use a Riptire early in this next team fight or Photon Barrier. You have enough ultimates just kind of to seal the deal here on Control Center and seal the deal on this first map. I don't know who's going to have to try and get this nano boost to pop up. Maybe Gryffindor, who's close to the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, but what's the TP Shatter? Your boy Wings gets 3 kills from just the Shatter itself in the boob. Oh, that is one for the highlight reels for sure.
Yeah, 90% and counting. Tiger's gonna have to pop up. I don't think anyone can even touch. It's basically a lost cause right now for... Oh, yo, tire kill on the tire kill. Lost cause for Villanova. They're not gonna touch the objective, and Connecticut will take map 1.
You know, I play Reinhardt, and I don't think... Wait, is it gonna be the play of the game? I have to see if it's play of the game. I'm actually incredibly curious. It's not... Yeah. Oh, I'm disappointed now. I'm a Reinhardt player. I play Lucio too, so I'm not too disappointed. But we're gonna see it. Well, no, it already happened. Oh, that's a bummer. It's fine. But yeah, Connecticut won that quite handily. Their aggression definitely maybe faltered them a bit, but overall, just incredible play by them.
Yeah, I thought Connecticut, I mean, they did what they needed to do to win. It wasn't the most professional job in the world, and yes, you are expecting Connecticut to probably take this series really cleanly, probably a 3-0. But what we are looking at when we're talking about Villanova is they won a team fight or two, or a couple of different engagements as well as that team fight on map 1. We were not seeing that at the start of the season. We just wouldn't have. We were seeing completely frantic compositions and plays from them earlier in the season. As I said, they've improved over the course of the season. That was their goal. I think we did see that over Lijiang Tar. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to even challenge UConn. UConn, again, are just using this as a test to see how aggressive they can get, what plays they can maybe get away with, experiment with some different play plans or different techniques that they want to try. It's nothing really much for them. They're already locked in playoffs anyway.
Yeah, and, all right, let's talk about this next map, Kings Row, and Villanova. Is this them trying to do better with this brawl again? Maybe a different style, maybe a different DPS lineup, maybe more comfortable with the Mei even.
I don't know. We'll have to wait to see what we get into lobby with, because I mean, also you have to consider Kings Row. It's not exactly like, oh yeah, we're gonna lock brawl instantaneously now anymore. Like you can see double bubble on this map. Wrecking Ball Sigma is a very, very good tank combination on the defense on this map. Double Shield has been popular in Kings Row in recent times as well. So it's not guarantee we'll see brawl versus brawl, but I would definitely highly suspect it.
Yeah, and just to highlight, Taija going off of the DPS, going to off tank, and Gryffindor going to DPS. So I mean, this is kind of not out of the ordinary for them. They seem to, when they go down 0-1, 0-2, they seem to switch it up.
I personally, this is one thing about Villanova I don't like. I don't like the role switching. I don't think it's really going to help you in game. I don't really think it's going to help you in game, especially when you're changing Gryffindor, who was your main tank, who's meant to be one of your leaders in game. Not the person who's going to control the game, but is the person who's going to get you going in these team fights, is the main engagement tool. I don't like switching that role around. Main tank and main support, I think, should always be the same, or at least, close in personalities and how they lead the team. I don't like that particular swap as we go into Kings Row.
Yeah, it's crucial, as you mentioned. Like they need something consistent, because they basically have to win this game. Like if they, could you imagine somehow going to the lower bracket final as the bottom ranked team and just going all the way to the grand finals and qualifying for nationals? Like it's such a Cinderella story. It just doesn't happen.
I don't think it is going to happen, but that's again, you kind of think about what Villanova's goal was this season. It was to progress. Next season, their goal will probably be the same, to progress. Maybe we'll see them get a win next season, right? I remember I think it was St. John's, talking to a player from St. John's in an interview, and they were saying, yeah, no, it's very visible to see the improvements that Villanova have made. We aren't expecting them to win a series today. We aren't expecting them to even get close to winning a series today. But what we are expecting is to see the improvement from the start of the season to now, because that's what their goal was. I think they've accomplished that. And one thing I will know as I look towards Connecticut's composition is one of my favorite compositions. Bulldozer or Pile Driver, depending on the region, with the double main tanks. This is extremely aggressive because you have two really good engagement tools.
Yeah, that may well cutting off the team, and as you said, that is definitely a bulldozer. Indeed, and that was about 10, not even 10 seconds. That was probably about 5 seconds before it ended.
Well, this is so aggressive because what's a main tank's main role, right? It's to engage, all right? So this is so oppressive to play against. And look, Esder's already behind, already on the back line. Nelsie follows in with 2, and this team fight's already done.
Yeah, that happened. I think I blinked and the fight was over. Oh, don't spawn camp them, please.
Spawn camping, I'm just emoting, eating some peanut butter.
It's tactical emoting. Yeah, it's to get the third person.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it actually would work in that scenario to see what spawn door they were coming out of.
Actually, no, that's true. And actually, a beautiful Maywell. Nice return by Myfraz there. Didn't the shatter? Gonna be clearing it all out. Myfraz still, in the end, goes out to die with honor with his teammates, but
Yeah.
Actually, I like that play there. That was fun.
I think with this composition, this is an example of the limit testing that they are doing, because previously we would see Ezreal either on the Zarya or the D.Va here, and running on double main tank, it's very impressive, it's very aggressive, and this is just a test to see, do we have any natural synergy with this composition? I would say they do.
Yeah, I agree, but especially they're not really seeing how Ezreal goes down consistently from the same spot, and it's just working out beautifully for them. Okay, that's the first. I think that was their first pick of the game. Like,
I mean, it's on the boy wings. I would say it's on to the main tank of the team, but there's two. Right? There's another one. Ezreal's got the primal rage as well. It's already been causing issues for the backline of Villanova, and we'll have to see if the backline Villanova can deal with Ezreal's primal rage in the next team fight, especially when Nelsie can play a little bit more aggressive, has the license to, because they've got the meteor strike as a free get-on.
Yeah, and that Blizzard. Okay, this Deadeye actually might get something. No, sadly, not gonna get anything. Nice flashbang. Whoa, okay. I'm looking at you, Gryffindor. Somehow a main tank. But a couple ults maybe that they can use to push.
It's got to be the Blizzard, really. What you could do with the ultimates that you have online, if you are Villanova, is use that Amp Matrix early to get into the team fight. And once the fight slows down, use that Blizzard. Unfortunately, they haven't even been able to get out of spawn to use that Amp Matrix.
Yeah, no, honestly, these fights are just going so fast, which, in some ways would allow Villanova to maybe have more fights because they're going so quickly, but they're just not able to really do anything with it.
Yep, and again, Nelsie already had the meteor strike previously. They're going to keep playing aggressive. Ezreal's already set up, but they find them, and look, Villanova finally taken some space. Unfortunately, they didn't cover your boy wings in the backline.
Yeah, check. It's not Valorant, but remember to check your corners. It's crucial that you try, you look, and okay, Gryffindor switching over to this Junkrat could actually force them back a bit. In Blizzard gonna be invested, is gonna catch anyone out. It does get your boy wings. Sound Barrier gonna be used, not gonna be saving them in time. Main tank down. Sound Barrier gonna be used by Happy Sparrow, but I don't know if they can touch. They do. That charge from Myfraz able to keep them in this game. 3 on point. A tick going to be given. Is anything more gonna be given? No. Primal Rage used, Amp Matrix as well. Does it get anything done? Can they finish it off? And it's looking like they are. Helpful Fox with a 2 again. What? The Lucio is cleaning them up, and a win condition is now confirmed for them. But I have to still think Connecticut's favored here.
Yeah, no, they're favorite here. We didn't really see a convincing team fight from Villanova. They're on that first round of King's Row. I did like the Blizzard, though. Just kind of throw it on, because your boy Wings is going to be on that corner. I actually just want to highlight that point, because we are, kind of casting a lower tier team in Villanova. I remember when I was first kind of getting into Overwatch and analyzing these sort of games, I was working with a coach in Europe, called Cake, who says that there isn't enough battle royale players in Overwatch because of this very thing of not being able to check corners, right? Because Overwatch is a game where you have to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more proactive, and sometimes you don't think to check those corners, and that was one of the points that he made, and I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, okay, so I really like the composition Villanova is going for, but I don't know how to really phrase if Ezreal stays on Orisa on attack.
I think Ezreal's just testing out some different heroes, right? That's what's happening.
Having some fun.
I have a suspicion, based on Kelp being on the Symmetra, that they're just going to end, and this is an idea of having 2 main tanks, and Ezreal's just bored of Winston already. So it's still very oppressive. Orisa's still a main tank who, the main focus of a main tank is to engage. Orisa can do that very, very well. So this is going to be very, very oppressive and difficult for Villanova to deal with.
Yeah, and okay, I like this rotation. It's like they've already sussed out where Gryffindor is going to be setting up on this Bastion. This Bastion Junkrat could be doing a lot, but that Sim TP worked amazingly in the space already going to be taken by Connecticut. They're rotating around. Nate the Cat able to actually, I think, boop Kelp down. So that worked out nice, and they're actually going to run back, get Kelp, and run to the spawn.
I think they're gonna go touch that spawn door. They're gonna go touch the point C spawn door. They're gonna do a little dance, and yeah, this is interesting. I mean, look, may as well have a bit of fun. And I mean, this is gonna definitely confuse Villanova. At least they have no idea where Connecticut are. Right? They have no idea. They've got one main tank on the left, one main tank coming from the main choke. This is gonna be interesting.
This is talk about space making. Okay, the charge in.
Oh my god!
Oh, kicks! Nate the Cat against my present. Oh, it's over. GG Connecticut are going to be going up 2-0. I can't believe Myfraz with the charge back pinned his teammate into death. Oh.
I mean, that was. I mean, that, you know what? For how memey that setup was, it actually wasn't bad, right? They got the Reinhardt off on an off angle, right? They had their main core group still together, and they actually managed to kind of split the resources of the Bastion comp. That's kind of what you want to do a lot of the time. It kind of worked.
Yeah, that was actually it. You know, I think a lot of people, even with Brawl, they still take it like, well, Brawl has to play, you know, tight knit, and I think UConn really understand how just going from different angles could just overwhelm a team, even if you don't have, you know, the best players in the world. So
Yeah,
incredible work there.
I mean, that might not have been their intention. I think their intention was to, you know, have a little bit of fun, right? I think that's quite clear, but it ended up working. That's something I think a lot of, you know, kind of lower-ish teams around the 4K mark miss in Brawl. Like a hero like Diva or Baptiste or Cassidy on an off angle is kind of scary, right? Kind of difficult to deal with.
No, indeed. And all right, I guess Villanova want to keep pushing through. They want to try to do well, and it's going to be Temple of Anubis for what could potentially be our last game.
I would imagine it would be. I'm just going to guess that this is probably gonna be our last map of this series. We're gonna see Samo come in for Kelp. Samo is the usual flex DPS player for UConn coming into the lineup. Just caught that in the corner of my eye. Nelsie traditionally plays those hit gun heroes, as we've been seeing so far. And yeah, I think it's good to see Samo back. I was talking to Samo in Twitch chat last week after my shift finished on the broadcast. And he was saying that he was really happy with how Connecticut have played this season, especially later on. They had a difficult start to the spring split because they lost, as I was saying at the start of the broadcast, they lost one of the best flex supports in North America at the start of the spring split, and they were having to adjust and you know, have different people in different roles. I think Nelsie even played flex support for a couple of games or maps for them, and eventually Connecticut were able to get back on the right foot, and that's a powerful and important skill to have, and they definitely deserve a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, no, and this could. I mean, I think it was expected for all of us, but this could really be Villanova's. Not necessarily. It's not the end of the line for them now, but I'm enjoying this match, and I wanted to keep going. But I think what makes it so fun is how UConn is playing, and obviously that doesn't synergize well with longevity in terms of match series. Sorry, I was reading the players chat for a second. I mean, if you were the coach of Villanova, how would you coach them coming into this game to structure themselves better? Like, would you go double shield? Would you go double bubble? Maybe even dive.
I don't think it has to do with the composition. I think it has to do with doing the basics, right, and having a structure in place. behind the team, preparing better for games. Also, in the fact, you know that Connecticut's going to play aggressive. Why not play a little bit deeper positionally? Let's make sure we're all tracking so we didn't know. Okay, your boy Wings probably is Earth Shatter. Your boy Wings is a little bit crazy with it, probably gonna flank. Okay, we've all tracked the Earth Shatter. Let's shut that player down. So basic ult tracking, basic positioning, and adjustments to play, I think would be more beneficial than any sort of compositional swap up. It's more about getting a good structure in place behind the team.
Right. To kind of go off that, would your number one thing be to not switch roles consistently and kind of make sure your calming structure is the same game to game?
Yeah, I think it will probably be the most important thing. Gryffindor was on main tank in map 1 and then moved to DPS, and then my who was off tank in map 1 is now the main tank. I don't like swapping that role in particular. Your main tank is your pivotal engagement point, right? They are the person that kind of leads the charge into the fight, except for a couple of different compositions. Some dive comps, you'll see Tracers be the main engagement tool, or Sombra even, just depends, right? That's just an off circumstance. But your main tank is your main engagement tool, your main frontline force, and your main support. That can't change around either, right? I don't think that can be changed around because that's your leader. That's who's controlling the game. That's who's setting the tempo or attempting to set the tempo against the other main support. I think those two roles are one thing that would lock down in the kind of idea of Villanova. Lock down those two roles and lock down a communication structure. I think those would be the big next steps for Villanova.
Yeah. Okay, so once again, it's going to be the defense of Connecticut against the potential offense of Villanova. Nels in the backline. I think that was a one clip. Beautiful play there, and trying to go against a Tracer who just doesn't die. And
ooh,
wow! I don't know why I just sounded like. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
I quite liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm not sure what it was, but I enjoyed it.
What's his name? He's an actor. I'm gonna Google it really quick. Please take it from me now.
Okay, well, we're going to see an interesting engagement from Hibachi SWAT, a new player in the lineup. I don't believe I've seen them this season for Connecticut. Nice little power drive engagement. Doesn't get too much, but it allows Nelsie and your boy Wings to get involved in the team fight. They're going to have to wait it out a little bit. They can't really walk into that room. That's the brawl room where Nate, Gryffindor, and my frats are going to get a little bit more value than your typical dive composition. Your boy Wings just kind of waiting for Samo to get the Echo duplicate online. I imagine that's going to come out soon.
Yeah, also, by the way, just to confirm, it's Christopher Walken. But Nels, what else matters? When you have Nelson Samo just... They were almost every kill. I think they were every kill, because I don't really count Baby Diva as a kill. In that fight. Wow.
Yeah. And Nels is going to have a little bit more freedom in this next team fight, right? Because Samo and your boy Wings, their kind of other partners diving in, are going to have a little bit more longevity based on the fact they have those ultimates online, right? The duplicate and the primal rage. So let's use those ultimates to actually keep track of Nelsie and what they're doing. Yeah.
All right. So how... Oh, that's a great start, actually. Getting Samo out of that... I'm a bit confused why I said they killed the replication twice. Nice Junkrat tire by Gryffindor. That's one way to start. The mine's going to be cutting off everyone. And actually, that slam could be doing quite a bit. It does. Happy Sparrows goes down so low. It's all up to Blue Falcons here. Has to get that shield up. Maybe able to take it out. And Nate the Cat runs into the mines. What? Oh, no. That is... that's so heartbreaking. Self-destruct does take out Helpful Fox. Point gives a little bit of progression, but the players are already back. Tiz guys on this Brigitte, so if they're able to counteract this Junkrat, no, never mind. And this could be a that's a stick of the century there, and are they no, okay, good, that's better. That's more normal. Okay, 2 tick, 1 tick's gone, maybe 2 ticks. They just came back.
Yeah, I mean that was a flip-flop fight. We'll go with. Yeah, I don't know why I feel the need to explain what flip-flops are. The things that you wear on your shoes, and they flip.
Sandals.
I don't actually
Yeah.
know what. I don't actually know why they're called flip-flops. I think it's the sign they make. It's like flip when you're walking with them. I don't know, but that's what that point was, right? We went one way, which was favoring Villanova, then favoring Connecticut, then favoring Villanova, then favoring Connecticut again. And I think the reason those fights are always actually going to favor Connecticut is when you have players like Nelsy and your boy Wings who will have that hard carry and quality potential.
Yeah, Gryffindor started us off very nicely, but it doesn't really matter. Overtime's going to be triggered, but MyFraz, all that remains of their chances here. Taija goes down a little too fast to even mention it. And yeah, I mean, it's not a decent win condition, but more importantly, is UConn going to TP away from the team and then go to the spawn door again?
I mean,
That's the main question.
Look, it depends. This is an important question based on what emotes they have equipped. It's good the emotes, and also depending what skins they're wearing. Like we get a little bit more screen time for disguise with the Vampire Hunter Brigitte skin. I'm all for that. Or the Sage Mercy skin. I don't know. The new remixed Witch Mercy skin. That's kind of nice. I don't know why I'm putting that out on broadcast. They're nice skins, all right. But look, if we got to see that, then that's okay. But otherwise, I would actually prefer, Connecticut give it a good go on point A and do a nice, quick, professional job.
That would be fair to Villanova, and okay, they do have the Symmetra, so
and that makes me think that I'm wrong. I don't think we're getting that nice, quick, professional job.
As soon as I see the Symmetra, I'm like, oh no. That's a bit worrying.
I think they'll take the window on the left-hand side. I think that's going to be their route.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. I was thinking that they're gonna go the left side, TP to the top of the room, and then just walk to spawn.
That's my guess.
And there's no Junkrat, so you can kind of get in with safely. So.
I mean, it might be a problem, but I very much doubt it. Or they could just TP to the boat and have some fun. I don't actually know where they're going.
Okay, so they're going to the top, so it does look like they're going.
Words!
Oh, okay. He doesn't die? How does these guys go down, but your boy Wings doesn't die? What? Okay, it does look like it is the professional end, though, so a bit of fun for them, but still professional of them.
Still got the job done, I guess.
And that is it. And University of Connecticut move on 3-0 over Villanova, who sadly dropped down to the first elimination match of this conference. And I don't think the other game is finished, but now looking at Connecticut facing St. John's or in Cincinnati, I can't. That was any final words?
Interesting game. I mean, interesting game, right? I mean, look, what's actually crazy to think is, I could see a world where Villanova do worse in that series because of the improvements they made over the course of the series. Once they Connecticut, they made some roster shots for this game. They got some different people playing. It's going to be exciting to see their potential in the rest of these conference championships before nationals. They've got some good teams to test themselves against, like Delaware, like William and Mary, which are going to be really exciting games potentially down the line. What I will note on this Connecticut team is, we've seen them messing around. Imagine them at full potential. We want to see them play at their very best because there is something on the line for them. The top two in each conference actually get better seeding for nationals as well. So you will get to play easier teams near the start of nationals. So getting good seeding and actually doing well in your conference championships is actually really strong.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm going to be curious to see how it plays out. Your boy Wings, even against the best teams, still plays so aggressively. And I think that's something, I'm looking at Colorado, I'm looking at Marist. They could definitely maybe punish that a bit more, I think, than other players. But, I digress, and that's this conversation for another time. We're going to be hopping into our second game of the day. which is going to be Villanova versus either St. John's or the University of Cincinnati. So don't go anywhere. More EGF Collegiate Overwatch after this. right, everyone, welcome back. Apologies, a bit of technical issues of muting my microphones. Well, my microphone. I don't have multiple microphones. But yeah, we are now in our first elimination match of the Eastern Conference for EGF Overwatch. It's going to be Cincinnati versus Villanova. Our bottom two teams, sadly. So one is going home. One's going to keep that hope alive that they can maybe qualify for nationals. But I'm Zoan, joined by Ocean, and Ocean, even if they win this, it's still going to be a tough road ahead.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game because, of course, there are stakes for both of these teams, right? Top two in each conference gets better seeding at nationals or qualifies for nationals if you haven't already. Both of these teams, of course, in the regular season had disappointing performances, and they're both teams we don't expect to qualify for nationals. But let's talk about one of the teams that we haven't seen on broadcast so far. Let's just quickly highlight one of them, and that's Cincinnati. They haven't played on this broadcast yet, but they played St. John's earlier in the day. They looked meh. I thought they were all right. They looked pretty good on assault, and that's previously what we've seen from them in the past. They've been able to play against the bigger teams on the assault map, but in other game modes, they've kind of struggled because they just don't have that quality. They're still learning. They're very much a developing team.
Yeah, I just want to highlight. So it seems to me that we're seeing from Villanova that Gryffindor is going to stay on that DPS, not switching over to tank anymore. Hopefully. Okay, I was just making sure that they didn't bamboozle us and actually secretly went to tank. I kind of wish Gryffindor stayed on main tank. We talked about this on our last series, but now, I mean, they've been doing well though. They're probably the highlight for me of this Villanova side.
Okay. I could see that. I mean, I just think that, you know, if you're going into the mindset of today, conference championships, and Gryffindor was your main tank, you'd assume that Gryffindor will be the main tank at least throughout the entire day. That's not what's happened. But I guess, I mean, if they keep throwing changes, Cincinnati is a team that's actually going to be able to adapt to them pretty well. Cincinnati is a good team at adapting. They just kind of lack the quality. They're still developing. They're still learning the game. They know different compositions, but don't know when to use them or how to execute them to the fullest potential. Their fight planning is one of their biggest kind of things that's holding them back as well.
Yeah, and immediately Archimedes holding them back and actually forcing them to rotate just a little bit to try to save their health, to try to rebuild their shield. But My Frage's shield is just, it's non-existent. It is not long for this world, and neither are these players. And kind of a long first fight, but it still ended with 20% on the board.
Yeah, okay, so Cincinnati, they took the main area in and around the control point. They were pretty much happy with that. I would like to see them go a little bit more aggressive onto the Villanova team earlier. Unfortunately, that's not really Cincinnati style. That's something they're still learning. They're not a very proactive team. I think they do need to take more proactive team points, and that will be an improvement for them in the future.
Yeah, Blue Falcon's going to invest this Matrix so early. Sightline's going to be a bit hard, especially with his Photon Barrier, but a nice Dragon Strike to start them in. It gets Kuro immediately. Has to do a bit more, but he walked backwards into the trap, and Archimedes a little too fast for that. And just constant trades. Archimedes just doing so much work, not wanting to give this fight up, not wanting to even give a tick. And I think Archimedes is gonna hold this for what? No, they can't. They can't hold it. Oh, they're gonna hold it. What?
Yeah, they got this. It's going to be a Cincinnati fight. I think that what really helped them is that they still had Kurohi's turrets up. They're a very difficult team to approach, right? Symmetra, Junkrat heroes you typically don't really want to walk into, right? I would like to see them hold further up, but unfortunately that's just not going to be possible right now because we can already see the Villanova team is practically through the choke. So basically, the idea now for Cincinnati is hold in and around the objective and not let Villanova in and around the control point.
Yeah, nice self-destruct in the backline. And then the shattering follow it up. Oh, that was absolutely perfect to start to finish off Control Center there.
Nice little shout out from Salty Nacho, player again who I believe was starting this season on flex support and then moved over to the main tank role because they lost a couple of players and kind of struggled earlier on in the spring split playing this role. I'm not exactly sure when the decision was made to swap to main tank full time. But Salty Nacho has been developing on this main tank role, and that's the kind of key point for Cincinnati. They're going to be a developing team. Cincinnati's a team that we're not going to really look at what stakes are available for them right now. But next season, they're a team that's going to be looking at trying to make the playoffs, and then that's when we're going to be judging Cincinnati. Has all this development worked out? Have we got the results in the future locked in? I think they have the potential to do so based on what we're seeing in this current game and what we've seen over the course of the season.
Yeah, nice TP straight to point. Once again, Villanova going for a different composition and is going for such a risky play here. It doesn't. Yeah, that's exactly what I was waiting for. Lightning, just a beautiful boop off, and an even faster first fight win for them. And yeah, I don't. Oh, Happy Sparrow's got a boop off, so I'm looking at that.
Yeah, it gets the boop at least. I mean, that's always one of those kills you want. Nice little smash teleporter to get Archimedes back quicker into the team fight. This next team fight, there's no real ultimates online except maybe Leapfrog's Amplification Matrix. I'm looking at that to be a zoning tool to try and put off the rotations.
What? I'm so sorry. I saw that shatter and I thought it was going to be massive, and it wasn't. It was not as big as I thought it was, but it was a nice. It did exactly what I think you mentioned with that leapfrag zoning tool.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting the Ant Matrix to be used early. That would be a typical. Oh my words!
Oh no!
Oh no! Tiger, you gotta jump off the map, son! Oh no! No, don't fight the wrong heart. Off the map you go. Oh, this is the worst stagger I've ever seen. Oh, unlucky. Alright, and this is going to make things 10 times harder, right? Because you're walking into the spam of Archimedes and that matrix without your Diva, without that defense matrix.
That was such a good Ant Matrix. Archimedes getting the headshot on Nate the Cat and just the fastest rotation. And they're cycling ults so well, Ocean. The coordination here is actually great to see.
Yeah, the fight planning seems to be a little bit better. They realized the Diva wasn't there, so we can use the Ant Matrix. Cincinnati have struggled with that in the past. It'll be interesting to see what ultimates they want to use here. I'd elect probably to use the Photon Barrier. I think that's probably the most expendable ultimate that they have.
Yeah, Dragon Strike going to be used from Gryffindor, trying to cut the team off. Does it work out too well? No, Sound Barrier invested to deny anything, and this Deadeye... Okay, gets Kuro. Salty Nacho, incredibly low, but Leapfrag just in the backline, and they already backed out of there. And this Deadeye to finish it all off. Taja's has the remake, doesn't get it off, and that is going to be our first map in the University of Cincinnati. Supposedly our second bottom team in the East Conference, dominating fashion there. Just incredible.
It was good. Their fight planning was better than I saw on week 7. Week 7. Cast them on week 17 or week 16. Like towards the end of the season, their fight planning was better. That metrics kind of summed it up. They were playing a little bit more actively. It's something that Cincinnati again have struggled to do in the past. So every single week when I've been able to watch Cincinnati this season, that you could see a clear step up, something that they've been working on. And we've seen 2. There's been a little bit of a break for them, and they've worked on 2 things. It's definitely not there. It's definitely not the level of the top teams, but they've been a little bit more active with their ultimates, and their fight planning seems to be a little bit better. So Cincinnati deserve a lot of credit for that. And again, moving towards the next EGF season, if Cincinnati do choose to partake, they're going to be a team to, kind of think about playoff spots.
Yeah, no, I mean, in looking at that, it seems that they have the right ideas. It seems that they have the right, thoughts of what they should improve on, and it was great to see. I do want to. I liked how Villanova play. I think, I mean, as we mentioned this earlier, and I agree with you. It's not necessarily the compositions. It's not necessarily the picks, and it's going to be Kings Row again. Villanova really love to bring themselves to Kings Row when against just way better brawl teams.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's really annoying for Villanova is I doubt they're going to have the flexibility to deal with Cincinnati on this map. I imagine Cincinnati will probably start on something like a basic brawl composition, but they have the capability to swap over to like Reaper, Sombra, Rush composition. They have a lot of options with that. They could run double shield. I've seen Cincinnati do that in the past before and run a slower tempo. Look, I think this is a bad choice for Villanova personally to play Kings, but what we are able to see with this map is if Villanova can maybe up the tempo a little bit. Kings is a very snowbally game mode, not game mode, a very snowbally map, sorry. Hornbit's a very snowbally game mode. You're going to want to play a little bit faster because the map is a little bit more linear. So, look, I would like to see that from the side of Villanova. I want to see them play a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and we're gonna be hopping into King's Row in just a few short moments. I agree. I want to see aggression. I want to, it's not goats, but I want to see some goats from this. I want to see something. I want to see goat plays with non-goats goats.
Right,
that totally
okay.
made sense. I
I
did Christopher Walken earlier.
I kind of get the vibe, all right. Let's kind of talk about the defense first. This is what we're gonna have locked in from Villanova. Standard brawl for the last four heroes, and I guess the Cassidy is a zoning tool that you usually see in the brawl composition, and Honzo is also a zoning tool that you usually see in the brawl composition. Now, what's really interesting about this is usually in the brawl composition you have a disruption tool that's like a May, can be a Doomfist as well. You can see Cassidy Doomfist as a brawl. Sombra as well can be used. But we don't see that here. We just see two zoning DPS. And I feel like with those two DPS together, you're kind of doing the same thing twice. Cassidy's good at zoning, so is Honzo. They're both got good spam potential. They kind of accomplish the same things. And I think that's where this brawl composition might fall apart.
Yeah, Gryffindor, I think, got a headshot from the May wall, and my prize immediately goes down a nice wall there to cut them off. Already backing up, I think, just giving this point away. And yeah, I don't know if they'll even try to recontest. 2 ticks gone. That wall, I think, finishes it up, and that was exactly how you wanted it to go for them.
Yeah, I mean, Gryffindor managed to get a little bit of ult charge, get a good amount of spam. But look, Cincinnati, I talked about how they struggle to play actively. Look, they want to take this corner. This is their goal right now, and they might just get Nate the Cat as well.
Yeah, but that May wall cuts off Nate the Cat. Ant Matrix, it just aggressively used to make more space. I think it has to be just Happy Sparrow, not Happy Sparrow, excuse me. Lightning just on the cart, pushing it as much as they can, and already basically past the hardest point in Streets phase. And what did Villanova do from here?
I mean, they thought that Matrix that could be used to get some space and get good full repositioning. Here it is. Is it going to accomplish much? It's going to push Salty Nacho back, but it's not going to do much more than that.
Oh, that was a shatter. The nice storm arrows as well, and this is actually going to be their first fight win. Can Cincinnati bring it back? No, they are not. They're going to be backing out of there, but that's all the ults gone. Yeah, I'm looking at self-destruct maybe.
I mean, you have Deadeye as well, which is a good zoning tool, a good ultimate to use at the start of the fight, as is self-destruct. And they use the Matrix well, though. They've got a bit of space, got a bit of traction. I didn't see Mefras at the Shatter online, and that's what the Matrix was able to open up.
Yeah, and Salty Nacho. I specifically, I want to highlight that was, oh, come on. You can't do that. You can't do that. Oh, the remake kill onto Happy Sparrow. What? Happy Sparrow just ran into that. I don't think realized Baby D was on the other side of the wall, but it's something I want to highlight is Nate the Cat consistently is the first one picked. Like playing a little too forward with this Cassidy.
Yeah, but that could also be a problem with the fact that we are changing our main tank players, or we're changing or potentially changing our main support players of where do we play, what tempo we're playing. I don't think Villanova knows what tempo they're going to be playing because they sometimes change around these critical roles in a team setup.
Yeah, indeed. And okay, the shatter. Oh, that is a nice shatter. Deadeye sound barrier gonna be popped, trying to make space for the rest of the team. And it's working great for them, keep them alive, and made the kills happen. Leapfrag deciding, hey, we don't have our main tank. It's fine. I can just do all of the damage. 440 on the clock, and they're pushing it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to be probably the Dragon Strike to zone, and then maybe Nate finally gets a Deadeye off, but Nate's really struggling to get value right now.
Yeah, that was Shrimp Man with the follow-up kill onto my Fraz. Oh, that was just incredible teamwork there. Salty Nacho is basically just spawn camping a door at this point. Blizzard on the left side is stalling anyone who's going to be coming from there. 2 meters left until they cap this point. Switch is coming just to stall as long as they can. This Moira pick actually working out great for them. This healing orb keeping them alive in this self-destruct used to clear out anyone. Gets happy. Sparrow, Taija, demect. Blue Falcon still alive is going to go down to the swings. My Fraz, all that's left, and no, they can't do it. They stalled quite a while, but still 350 for Cincinnati going into their first defense.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because Cincinnati, I thought they were good that round, but they did lose a couple of team fights, and I wanted them to impose themselves a bit more. And this is why I'm calling this interesting, because they did impose themselves a bit more on Lijiang. They were a little bit more aggressive there. They were active. And this is something that we haven't been able to see them do yet. They're on the defense now. And it is typically harder to play a little bit more proactive on the defense, or identifying the opportunities to play more proactive and aggressive on the defense. And this is going to be a big test for Cincinnati and a big, big moment for them. For me to see against a weaker team, can they identify a mistake and get aggressive on the defense? And can they identify the key opportunities to do so?
I agree. And that looked like Salty Nacho was just writing something in chat. It's okay. Gryffindor gonna go to the soldier, the legs, the old man. In the same composition for Cincinnati, which I think, I mean, what else can he do? Nathan Cat staying on Cassidy. What does soldier do with this composition?
I mean, we've seen brawl compositions in the past. They could take an area maybe around like a mega health pack. There's not an area around the mega health pack here, but you can I guess take an area around the map and control it, because of course the soldier has this healing pad, and in certain areas that can work, and you can force a brawl in a location that suits you and gives you more healing, kind of like how you would have a Brigitte that has Inspire.
Yeah, indeed. And oh, that's a great way to start. I think Salty Nacho was going for a charge. Didn't work out for them there, and of course Myfra is still alive. Shield was low, but a shield that is low is still a shield nonetheless. And this actually, it was almost as fast, I think, of a cap. And yeah, Kuro just, that's a retreat.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because now we've already seen Salty Nacho go for a play and it's not quite worked out. Are Cincinnati going to be kind of swayed away from doing that in the future? They're going to be a little bit scared to make those plays. I hope not. Salty Nacho doesn't look phased right now.
Yeah, Leapfrag. Okay. Was thinking, hey, it's okay. I'm Baptiste. I'll just shoot everyone to death regardless of what goes on. The ult percentage is close right now, but it just slow enough that allows Cincinnati to pull it back. This next fight's gonna happen suddenly. A couple ults now online. Deadeye, Ant Matrix. I don't want Blue Falcons to use it too early. Just use it aggressively.
What?
Oh, that was a great shatter, but Archimedes was able to clutch it out of this Blizzard. Oh, what? Just concentrating. Gryffindor popped the visor, doesn't get anything for it. And finally, the retreat from Gryffindor.
One thing that I think needs to be a little bit better right now from the side of Cincinnati is they're getting Earth Shatter a lot, and that could be a problem with Salty Nacho not playing around the Earth Shatter that Myfraz has, or it could be a problem with their ult tracking. So they need to identify that problem, because I can't tell you which one it is, and then fix it, because these Earth Shatters from Myfraz are getting a little bit too much value for my liking.
Yeah, that was just an incredible shatter there. And all right, so this retreat is going to be immediate. Nice self-destruct in to force players out, and I think that was a boot to get Happy Sparrow and kind of get Blue Falcons in it. But Taija with the self-destruct and the remake kill, Salty Nachos, we're suddenly even. It's all going to be up to who can get the first pickoffs. If anyone is faster, nice headshot there. Strip Man all alone with Leapfrag, and okay, nice. No, actually, he's saving the mech there, so they could take this next fight.
Oh, Sherman still took a little bit of damage there. They have an up matrix as well, Cincinnati to get into this next fight. The question is, how do they want to approach it? It is going to be with that amp matrix.
Yeah, that amp matrix immediately used. Nice follow up by Salty Nachos, getting Blue Falcons. They're not going to have that healing anymore. Happy Sparrow with this sound barrier, not going to be using it, just going to be retreating out of there. And wow, that's exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, Villanova, they could have took a little bit more space there, I think, just before that previous team fight, and that would have made that approach a little bit more difficult for Cincinnati. Speaking of Cincinnati, Salty Nacho, I'm looking at you. Some team fights you're playing also with a lot of confidence. Back yourself. You can make so many more plays if you just had a little bit more confidence. Here we go.
Yeah, Immortality Field invested so early that it's not going to be getting anything with this Blizzard, and oh, the Deadeye gets two. Archimedes with that Peacekeeper gets two more. 2:30 on the clock, and that card is just going backwards.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cincinnati, you want me to talk about them more. They just executed one of my favorite ultimate combos in the game, where you kind of use a Deadeye to set up a Blizzard, and they ended up setting up each other in a reverse way because of the timing of it. It was brilliant. It was really well executed.
Oh, the shatter, what? Oh, we didn't even see the shatter.
What?
What? Oh, okay. That was... I think that's exactly what you meant by aggression. By proactive engagement.
It's definitely better for Villanova aggression-wise. But again, I Cincinnati need to out-track or deal with those Earth Shatters better. But that's good for Myfraz. Maybe Myfraz should be the main tank on this team going forward, and the person that is making those engagements, because we haven't seen engagements from Villanova like that all season long. This is good. More aggression from Villanova, please.
Yeah, they're just okay. They're holding to this corner. This DMEC too fast, and oh, that was a massive shatter. And I've noticed. I agree with you. It's like they take an early engagement, but then as soon as they cap, they all want to push the card. It seems like a bit of a disconnect.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't seem that they've hit that stage of okay, we can take a little bit more space yet. They're a little bit, I guess, scared to go forward and take a little bit more space. That's another big Earth Shatter from Myfraz.
What? Oh, and this self-destruct though doesn't get anything, but it breaks the shield in the Deadeye combo. Oh, that is beautiful. Strip Man, it gets a consolation prize, but all that remains. But okay, Archimedes, you can try to get everyone in this game by yourself. It's not going to work out too well. And 2:20 on the clock, they're able to get it halfway, but they have to cap it.
Yeah, it was an interesting last team fight. Again, another good Earth Shatter from Myfraz. Then this next team fight, the two ultimates to highlight. That Matrix from Blue Falcon, which is being used early, and that self-destruct. It's going to be used, both of these ultimates, to get space. It's gotten a lot of space from Myfraz already. What can Trip Man do?
Yeah, that was a great amp matrix there, trying to force the rest of the space out. This self-destruct gets Blue Falcon. Kill again. No. Shrimp Man, take a bow there, my friend. And oh, that was not the worst stall, but a nice stall right nonetheless.
I mean, the goals of those two ultimates were both accomplished. Get your team into the fight and get some value. There's the only ultimates online for each team going into that previous team fight. We've got a similar situation now with Tactical Visor and I guess the Amp Matrix, but they achieve different goals. Matrix is going to get a little bit more space for Cincinnati like it does now, and Gryffindor is going to need a lot of setup time for this tack finds. I'm not sure Gryffindor is going to get that setup time.
Yeah, Leapfrag just by themselves with this Amp Matrix. What? Leapfrag's playing a DPS themselves. And okay, if they get this, that is such a stall. They're not going to. But 50 seconds left on the clock. A couple ults online. I'm primarily looking at that Shatter. Maybe this Deadeye. Oh, it's going to be close.
Yeah, so this is going to be difficult. Look, the ultimates are kind of starting to favor Cincinnati. They've got Blizzard coming up as well. They probably have all 6 ultimates during this next team fight because Leapfrog has been charging up that Amp Matrix so fast.
Oh, that Shatter. And my friends, Nate the Cat, used both of those ultimates that we mentioned. Didn't get anything with it. Salty Nacho does go down, so no main tank. But this Blizzard's such a great stalling technique. Wasn't able to do anything. Oh! What?
Oh, wow.
Well, just take what I just said and throw it out the window as Cincinnati is just dominating. 5 seconds left on the clock. Cart is pushed back enough. They can push, but maybe not. Oh, no. And no, they can't. And Cincinnati are going to be going up 2-0.
Gryffindor tried to touch the point multiple occasions there. I think it was Lightning got a boop at one point, and then Shrimpman got another boop onto Gryffindor. So there was no touch available onto the court. Cincinnati took a 2-0 lead, but positive signs from Villanova in that last map. They started to play a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more confidently. I think we were criticizing Mindfraz for swapping on to the main tank earlier, but Mindfraz actually might be the better main tank for this team moving forward. And I hope that they don't switch it up again. I think that will be then a concerning moment for Villanova. But they're starting to progress. Unfortunately, it's right at the end of the season in conference championships, and they're 2-0 down in the series.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see the reverse sweep happen, and they suddenly go to conference. And nah, it's like I'm just playing you. That would be. Leicester City winning the Premier League, I think, was more likely than Villanova somehow coming back in this.
5,000 to 1. That's a harsh statement. It's a harsh statement.
We'll see how it goes, but don't go anywhere, everyone. What could be the last game of Villanova in this EGF Overwatch season is going to come up after the short break. Cincinnati is already on match point in this lower bracket game. Our first elimination match of this Eastern Conference in EGF Overwatch. Villanova trying to hold it as soon as they can, and we're actually hopping straight into Temple of Anubis. I am Zohan, joined by Ocean, and end of the line here for Villanova.
Yeah, I mean, look, positive signs for Villanova is they get to play Anubis, which they looked okay on earlier in the day. They looked all right. They had a couple of moments against a really good team at University of Connecticut. I don't think it's right to assume that Villanova will get a result out of this, but what we have to say is there's been some positive signs from them in this series and some positive signs from Villanova on this map from today, and definitely signs that they can move forward as a collegiate Overwatch program.
Yeah, and okay, so I'm looking at Villanova, and this is not Villanova, excuse me, Cincinnati. This is not a composition we haven't really seen a lot. Okay, Villanova, what are y'all doing? What is this?
This is a good spam composition, actually. I kind of like this.
I mean, it's a good spam composition, but I kind of miss their structured already. I kind of miss this brawl.
I mean, this works because technically, when we've seen Roadhog double off tank compositions in the past, Roadhog kind of operates as the main tank. Even though, Roadhog's engagements aren't exactly great, it's usually a flag gone and off angle. But as long as the Roadhog starts the engagement, that is still technically main tanking. So in technicality, this could still work and would technically still keep their structure if, in a big engagement, Mithras is the main player engaging and starting off these engagements.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to bring back. Kuro went down first immediately to Gryffindor with this. Oh, that was a nice play there, and they're holding fairly well. Nice engage there by Salty Nacho. And yeah, once this Farah gets to an area where they can deal with Nathan Cat, maybe with Happy Sparrow, so much damage is just going to be output by Archimedes, and they're starting to hit these shots, and I think Kuro goes for the dive. The retreat, though, from the rest of this team is immediate, so they're not going to lose players just yet. But no, that was a beautiful headshot on Archimedes. Not able to finish it off, though, in at the end, and they're diving in here. Leapfrog about to have this nano, uses it onto Salty Nachos. Salty Nachos goes for the jump. That was a beautiful jump.
Great attack, too.
Oh. I was like, I feel as a main tank, I felt that in my soul, and that
was good.
Gryffindor going for this tire, doesn't get anything. And that has to be the first point, unless Mithras somehow makes a miracle. Not going to happen, and they held for quite a while though.
It was all right. We had a pretty good concept because when they were forced off of that high ground, they identified, okay, we're on a spam-based composition. Let's go back to the point because that's where our composition's good. And that was a pretty good team fight from Villanova. The problem is Cincinnati's timing was just really, really good. They had Kurohi come in from top left, Salty Nacho's engagement was good, and you still had Archimedes' spam. The problem is for Villanova now is they used that Riptire. That's not available for this next team fight. And look at the ultimates available for Cincinnati. The Valkyrie is the key, and it's a ticket for them to go in.
It is, yeah, indeed, and all this Immortality Field just immediately gone. Investing a couple ultimates in here. Nate the Cat somehow getting rezzed in the middle of it all, but this Primal Rage pushing Myfraz actually back to the fight. Actually, maybe a little bit of a mistake there. Actually, helping the enemy team. But I mean, the kill's still going in their favor. Archimedes getting rezzed here, so actually they're gonna have all their members back, and nice pick off there, taking out that. Come on, Nanoblade. What's it gonna do? Doesn't get one. Archimedes gets the kills. Come on, get one. There's one, finally. I was waiting for the first one. Okay, still hasn't finished. Salty Nacho, on the other hand. Okay, you have fun there on Winston, eh? I don't know why I went Canadian, but I've been hanging out with my Canadian friends. I apologize. But I think the spawn advantage actually gonna allow for the salt for quite a while. Salty Nachos again just.
Oh, it's
Nate, please.
It's just jumped into the self-destruct. Salty Nacho's popping off as well. I can vibe with this. I'm a Winston player myself, and Salty Nacho's been hitting some good sack. Want to see some good juggles here in a second. Actually, probably could keep the rest of Villanova in the spawn room, or just believe Myfraz. I'd like this approach too. Screw Hog players. Oh, that was pretty poor juggling. Sorry, Salty Nacho.
Yeah, sorry. But actually that actually worked in Villanova's favor, just due to the fact they still haven't given up a second tick. This has been a 1.5 minute, 2-minute long fight. It's still not over. Right, like it's like one pickoff happens, two. Okay, Mercy's getting involved now, and okay, that is gonna be the second tick.
What?
Well, now it's over. 245 left. 54, not 45.
You know how weird that last fight was? The moment that Cincinnati lost both their supports was the moment they went on to capture the objective. Typically, you lose both your supports, Villanova go in and say, right, we've cleaned this up, now it's assault, we've got the better respawns. But Archimedes just hit the shots at the end. A very unnatural team fight. I think the execution of ultimates of both teams was poor. I think Lightning used the Valkyrie pretty well at the start of that team fight, and then the rest of the ultimates and the execution were pretty poor on both sides. But it was just a messy team fight. It was interesting. I thought it was very unique. But what it does show when you have a longer team like that, especially on these assault maps and in these moments, especially now that we know that Villanova are eliminated from EGF, should they lose this map, it shows that both these teams are fighting. They want to win, they are here to win, and they're going to try their best. It shows they're putting their best foot forward. Sometimes those moments do get messy, and that usually comes from two teams giving it their all.
Yeah, and this is
oh no
unreal.
Oh, they broke the basket. He was going to jump on the box and then throw it up onto the high ground, but that just isn't the plan anymore.
I like this setup. I mean, they're gonna almost perfectly counter Myfraz on this Winston, Torbjorn, double shield, lightning with this on this Brigitte. I'm kind of waiting because the last fight Gryffindor got Kuro within 2 seconds. Didn't happen this time, but Myfraz goes in for the dive at half health. I just lost my words. What? Gets the res off. Oh, that was tragic. I don't think they were looking at the health bar there. Gryffindor gets low, dude. Shrimpman just putting so much damage in it to this backline. Myfraz is not even able to get a bit of damage off. And well, okay, Gryffindor is actually the one who starts us off. Low, but this team can really hold on to any kind of space, and they are. Oh, this damage, just the spam damage from Cincinnati right now is just out of this world.
Honestly, that team fight was pretty okay to start from Villanova. They come in on the left-hand side. It's when they go into this bridge, you're going to have the extra pressure from the Torbjorn turret. Lightning's going to be able to brawl you a little bit better. especially when you're on the Winston, you don't really have the brawl potential that your opponent's double shield composition does have. But yeah, they could have maybe sent Gryffindor back to main after they got that first kill and played a 65 with a player in main spamming from a different off angle. That could have been cool. But it seems we're going to go away from that Winston approach. We're going to go on to the Reinhardt. The question is, how does the Reinhardt even swing at anyone here? How do you have a Lucio or any sort of tempo that is going to get Myfraz value on this Reinhardt?
Concept. They nano Myfraz, and Myfraz just charges in willy-nilly.
I mean, it could work. Maybe
could work.
If you didn't get Gravitic Fluxed.
And oh yeah, well I mean, I'd be fair.
And you're on his spot too.
Take out a Gryffindor. Okay, what? A 3? No, I'm not gonna. Leapfrog was mad about what we were just saying, and yeah, by themselves effectively.
I mean, it was a good concept idea. Unfortunately, the two things that happened at the start of the fight meant it couldn't happen. One, our Reinhardt that we wanted to charge got fluxed, and our Honor we wanted to nano died it. So that was just not going to happen. But we can do it again next fight. Right, it's still online.
Come on, I want the charge. Just go in. This okay.
Oh, no, they still got it!
They nanoed
They still run in front!
What?
Oh,
Boostio
no.
Lucio! And it doesn't work out in the end, and minute left on the clock. Villanova's chances of making it to the Nationals is going lower and lower. But we got to see a Boostio Lucio.
It's happening in the worst. It's happening in the worst way possible. An accidental nano onto Lucio to lose one of the most important team fights. Like that's unlucky. Because they don't have anything for this next time. Like Tiger's gonna have to hit like an incredible self-destruct against double shield. I doubt that's going to happen. And then even when they do get into the team fight, they get space off that self-destruct. Lightning's got rally.
Yeah, that rally is so important. Self-destruct definitely getting ready.
Oh, hang on. What?
What?
Is that 5 or 6?
Girl, what the
Get the 6. Get the 6.
Get the 6.
Girl,
it doesn't get Blue Falcons.
Go get the last kill. Oh, bro,
what?
You're on the naughty list. You're not getting any prezzies at the end of the year. I know it's nowhere near Christmas, but what is that?
You and
Gamer got 5 kills and was like, I don't want the 6k. What was that about?
It was being respectful. It was allowing them another fight to give Villanova a chance. Ant Matrix going to be used, and they're probably not going to be able to get in. Oh, actually, that was a very nice Gravitic Flux. It's not the 6k Lightning, though. Finishing it all up, and sadly, Villanova has been eliminated. University of Cincinnati push on to maybe qualify for Nationals, but it is a tough road ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult. You know, you still need to get top 2 in this conference, which is a big ask when teams like Delaware, William Mary, and Connecticut are here. So that's going to be a really difficult task for Cincinnati. But they performed well on that map. They showed some skills that they developed over the course of the season. That Dead Eye was beautiful at the end. Although, I will say, again, this is still very much a team in development. They're going to be great next season. I really do expect them to push closer towards those playoff spots. But I don't think Cincinnati has enough right now. They can prove me wrong. They could definitely prove me wrong over the course of the day. But they're already in losers, and it's going to be a difficult task ahead.
Let me try to double check who they would be playing. I believe it is the... Okay, so with Cincinnati winning this game, they will be advancing to whoever loses in our... I think winners bracket. So they are going to be facing whoever. Okay, so these games haven't even happened yet. Whoever wins the University of Delaware versus RIT will face William and Mary. Whoever loses that will be facing Cincinnati. That was a bit confusing. But yeah, both of those teams. Definitely. Well, I mean, yeah, William and Mary is our top team, so I think it's gonna probably be. I'm guessing it's gonna be Delaware who eventually will fall.
I mean, probably. I mean, Delaware is gonna be. That'll be a good game, I reckon. I think Cincinnati could pressure Delaware because Cincinnati's a little bit more versatile, and Delaware likes to play a lot of brawl, but it's a very standard style of brawl. There's nothing too much that's aggressive with it. It's not a certain play style. It's just a very bog standard brawl team. So
Hmm.
I would like to see that game happen. I would like to see Cincinnati maybe challenge Delaware. That could be cool later on in the day.
That would be, and I hope that I hope they take that 5K, get the confidence, and yeah, they did incredibly well, and I think that wraps it up for us for now. Obviously, we're going to be back in, well, you're going to be back in an hour. I'm not going to be. Any final words for our fallen Villanova?
I mean, look, you accomplished your goals of the season. You improved over the course of the season. That's nice. I'm happy with that. Next season, I want to see Villanova push their esports program forward, try and get some wins, learn from their Rocket League team. Their Rocket League team this season, again, started off slow, but was able to patch themselves up, push themselves forward. I can see that being a similar story with their Overwatch team next season, but I really want to see them get some wins on the board next season. Otherwise, I will be a little bit disappointed with Villanova in Overwatch.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, that is it for Villanova. They are not going to be. I mean, they had a long way to go to even make nationals, but sadly, they are officially out of any championship contention. Cincinnati's dreams live on, and we will be seeing them again very soon. So don't go anywhere. Cincinnati's dreams will potentially live on after this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the EGFC East Conference Championships. I am Waffles for Sid, and I will be joining all of you and Ocean on the broadcast today. Ocean, we are about to move into round 2 of our winners bracket. What's on your mind, and how are you feeling?
You know what? Before I even get into the teams, I have to say that was a lot better than your practice intro. That was some truly horrifying stuff behind the scenes. But let's move on. Let's move past that. I don't know why I reminded myself of said practice intro. But let's talk about UConn versus St. John's University. UConn, this team have had to adapt to some difficult changes when they lost their star flex support at the start of the spring split in RuPaul/Pascal. And that's been really impressive. It's been really nice to watch their growth over the spring split. And now they're back to being a top 5, top 8 team consistently. St. John's have always been around that mark this season. They have had some moments where they've been inconsistent, and I would say St. John's is probably the most inconsistent out of the top 8. So this is going to be a really interesting battle of a UConn team that's grown over the spring split and a very inconsistent St. John's team.
And, consistency is one of the things that's really going to define teams at the top of the bracket and at the top of, the entire esport as a whole, right? Being able to make sure you are doing those fundamentals, recognizing those win conditions and isolating people out of place every time, right? It's not about how good you are on your best day. It's actually about how good you are on your worst day. And, both of these teams, they've encountered each other when they're having maybe a best or worst day. There is a win under each of their belts currently, and I'm excited to see if any of that past rivalry is really going to come to surface. Ocean, this is playoffs. Everyone takes it more seriously, more aggressively, and this is where the upsets happen.
Well, yeah, there's not too much at play for both these teams. There are stakes, of course, but both of these teams are secured in nationals. They will both be at nationals guaranteed. One thing they are playing for is seeding. The top 2 in each of the conference championships get better seeding when it comes to nationals. So that's something that both these teams will be playing for. And also, look, there's a bit of pride on the line here. Both of these teams have got to win against each other this season. This is kind of like your tiebreaker because these two teams might not play again.
That's absolutely true. And you do not want to leave any unfinished business at the end of a season, especially if you've got a score to settle. And I got to say, it is going to be up in the air. Who's really going to take this map? We're rolling out with, some Symmetra and Junkrat. That is going to be so much CC.
Yeah, this is about who gets to the kind of control room first, who could control this very important area around the map. And it looks like both teams have arrived around the same time.
It is going to be a slugfest, though. Immortality Field committed already. Joey Baloney not saved quite long enough by it, and that is the advantage that they need to go ahead and take this first point defensively.
Yeah, no, this is really difficult for St. John's because they have to walk into this Junkrat spam, whereas they have to walk in with their Junkrat spam. This is quite difficult.
More pressure coming through, an early pick though, and oh, even more coming through from ya boy Wings. And honestly, so much damage being output from him, it is discouraging to push into, and getting stuck at the choke here in Control Center could be really tough.
It could be really bad. Look how small that doorway is that you're trying to get through. And it's made even worse by the fact that Nelsie has a Riptire online, has just got a kill as well, and Disguise has an Amp Matrix. This is going to be really tough for St. John's. How are they going to approach this? I mean, they could probably wait for their own Riptire and try and dismantle this chokehold of University of Connecticut, or they could maybe try and put a different player on an off angle. Here comes Nelsie's Riptire.
And it does go ahead and take out if you stay early on in this fight. That does mean, you know, a little bit slower to charge their own Riptire, their own win condition opportunity. Looks like St. John's doesn't care. We're just going to move along here. Jolton Joe just jumping on this point. Smash on the ground. 3 people clipped, and there's the follow-up from St. John's. Even more coming through, and a nice flip here just about under, well, we'll see how long Connecticut rings out the percentage, but 60% is feeling pretty good.
59%, Sid. You gotta be sharper. I'm joking. Going into that team fight, you know, that was a clear advantage for Connecticut, right? They had positional advantage, they had the ultimate advantage. They just let Jolted Joe and the rest of St. John's just walk into him. It's a great Earth Shatter, but UConn will be disappointed with that.
More aggression coming through, and well, there is the wall. It's giving a lot of protection here for Connecticut. They throw the Shatter and the Amp Matrix on top of it. More ults coming through from Easy there on the self-destruct, and it is still Connecticut here in this kill feed, taking the point back, and well, they need to hold this defensive.
Yep. I mean, they used absolutely everything that they had to win that team fight, didn't they, Connecticut? They've only really got that Riptire in the next team fight, but I think that's the ultimate you would kind of pick. If you wanted only one of these ultimates, you'd probably either pick Sound Barrier or Riptire. Riptire is a great tool that you could use at the start of the team point, and if you could stop St. John's getting into this team point using their support ultimates, that would be a good start.
Sound Barrier does go ahead and get launched, but the Riptire is shut down. Everyone on St. John's is amped up, gone with the Shatter right there, and they just continue to push forward. This is a nice transition as St. John's knew they had an opening. Oh, trapped right there in the end, but that's okay. They're still going to take the point, Ocean.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried for Easy Dirk, kind of stuck. With the Diva there. I thought they were going to get demacked. They were really relying on a better Riptire from Nelsie. This is an interesting Dragon Strike. From a long range, you're not really going to get value out of that. And now your boy Wings is tasked with getting an Earth Shatter, getting forward. Can they get your boy Wings involved in the fight?
There's a lot of pressure on this Earth Shatter. Is it going to land or is it going to get blocked? Reinhardt dances have commenced here, and it's straight into the shield of Jolton Joe. That's going to be a great mood booster for St. John's, but that is not enough, Ocean. The damage from Connecticut is there. They don't even care. Continue pressing forward, being aggressive, pushing St. John's off the point, and with that, Connecticut secures the objective for themselves this first round.
Yeah, that's really surprising because we saw that the Earth Shatter is probably like the main offensive tool that Connecticut wanted to use there. And we didn't actually just see St. John's respond with anything, right? They almost got the Riptire built up. Maybe they were trying to respond with that, and that's what made it really awkward in that last team fight. But we needed to see a response from St. John's in that last team fight, and we didn't quite get it. That's something they're going to have to improve in later fights in this series.
Especially if they continue to ascend through the bracket, because that is really going to set them apart and ensure that they are completely and thoroughly winning the team fights. You can't be letting stragglers hang out too long, especially on these control maps, right? Every bit of percentage is extremely important. And well, being crisp and clean with those team fights goes a very long way. Right now, though, two very different engagement strategies coming through. We see Yukon here has teleported over to the middle, pretty much encircling St. John's and trying to push them back towards the outskirts of the map itself. They are set up on the point, trying to hold this defensive line. Pretty much what they want to do, especially because they have the Symmetra, you've got the turrets, not something you really want to push into, Ocean.
Yeah, if you're the side of St. John's here, St. John's one of my favourite compositions, they've got to be really patient here. They need to kind of surround and conquer this Symmetra and co on the objective. And this is would have been a good hack to start off with. That would have been a nice engagement tool, a nice option to go aggressive under your boy wings. But they need to be careful. They kind of need to wait for ultimates. They've got the coalescence to engage. That might be the go button for St. John's.
Oh, two people capped there by Nelsie's dead eye. That is Connecticut all in the kill feed as St. John's continues to try and just back out and regroup a bit. They are going to have some ultimates online, but Connecticut's going to have a handful of their own to combat the motion.
I think a lot of pressure right now, not just for this team fight, but this entire map and getting a good start in this series is on if you stay on the Sombra right now. This EMP is critical. If this is not a good EMP, look at the Connecticut ultimates that they can use to respond. And this probably is going to be a longer team fight as well, and we might approach last fight territory. It's going to have to be a big EMP from if you stay.
Ooh, everyone's in the open. We're getting close, but there's already been one person taken down. I wonder if they're going to continue trying to just push forward. Nah, saving the EMP for when the entire team is going to be grouped up. I like that they went ahead and kept it in their pocket. And, maybe with Rich and Joey Baloney switching over to the aerial duo, it might provide a bit of additional damage.
Yeah, here we go. It's EMP time. They didn't get the Lucio!
No, and there it is. A sound barrier comes through from Yukon to pretty much try and save them in this fight. There is one lost in the process, and St. John's continues to aggress forward. Follow-up after follow-up kill, and the damage being done, especially by Liam Lizard.
Yeah, I think the problem for Yukon there is that they took that fight out in the open. They really just wanted to play on the objective. Yes, they managed to have their Lucio helpful Fox avoid the EMP, but the damage had already been done. They'd walked out and they were starting to play St. John's game. And Yukon, that's something that they have been poor at in the past, is they start playing their opponent's game. Just play your own game. You're an aggressive brawl team. Stick with it.
Nice block there just before they were hacked, and well, your boy Wing still trying to hold the front line of the point. This is a long Deadeye, not finding anything but the Diva Mech there in the process, and now the point is covered in a minefield. Connecticut has so much space to just continue aggressing, and well, now they want to take this point back, right? It's a bit of a clear out here coming through, and St. John's has got to get on this point. I don't think anyone else can tell. Oh, overtime bar is actually triggered by St. John's. It's still going to be a trickle match here as Connecticut wanting to go ahead, win this first round of Lijiang Tower to open up the round 2 of the winner's bracket. And well, honestly, St. John's doing a good job at continuing to stall Ocean.
Yeah, it's just a wrecking ball, and I think so. If you stay on the Sombra around the objective right now, Rich has just arrived, but I don't think that there's anything that St. John's can really accomplish here. And they can't. Map 1 will go over to Yukon.
And Gardens in particular on Lijiang, I think, is prone to that amount of stalling more than the other control maps, right? It's a straight shot up the middle. It's a tiny gap to jump over that little fish pond. And a lot of characters have that movement ability to be able to make it. And, St. John's didn't give up, which is a very good sign moving to our next map, right? They are going to get to pick the hybrid map, so they might get a bit more of an advantage since, that's the one that they're comfortable with. That's the one that they should be the most confident on.
Yeah, we're going to go over to hybrid, and I think this is an important moment in this series because that first map, it's control. Control's usually going to have a pretty quick pace to it, right? Unless both teams are kind of playing spam compositions, then you can maybe get some slower control maps, but that's very, very rare. And it is important to know that UConn is probably one of the more aggressive and abrasive teams to play against in EGF. They like their ball compositions. They like to play aggressive, not necessarily proactively all the time, but they're very aggressive in how they like to approach their Overwatch gameplay. So control is always going to favor them. And I think that's something that St. John's need to take into account when they pick their hybrid map. They want to slow the game down. They want to make University of Connecticut uncomfortable, and that's something that they need to think about.
Yeah, and that is going to be, a tough decision for them. It was a very back and forth battle during that control map, but at some point, University of Connecticut really seemed to find their footing, get in the flow state, and just maintain solid control of that Gardens point there in the last round. So I'm curious to see, how is St. John's going to adapt? How are they going to just, continue pushing forward? Because they had some really great moments, right? It's a little bit of the follow up after those wind conditions are shut down. I would love to see cleaned up. But when it was time to block a shatter, Jolton Joe is there.
Yeah, no, I think that these two teams are really close in skill. I think personally that Lijon is always really going to favor UConn, and I think it's now about adaptation. The rest
Yeah.
of the series is going to be about adaptation, and I think again the first thing I think that is the most important thing for St. John's University is to slow the game down and make UConn uncomfortable because they like to play a high tempo, and UConn, all of their losses this season, including one against St. John's, have been when they haven't been able to control the game and control the tempo. We've just seen Slurpee come into the lineup. Maybe that's going to
Ooh.
be the key to try and slow the game down.
Yeah, we'll have to see what she brings to the table and, what kind of different team synergy we might also see as a result, right? Having those different supports in there. Anytime you sub a teammate in, there is going to be a different dynamic, different communication that needs to happen. And, everyone, there's a reason you practice together. You adapt your synergy to complement them. And, with St. John's, already down one early in this series. It is double elimination. Hopefully, they are keeping that mental fortitude to continue driving forward, and took this first loss to really ignite themselves and say, "Okay, we're here to play. It's playoffs. We don't want to go down without a fight, and we want to settle the score with University of Connecticut."
Just before we see hero selections, I wonder if Slurpee's going to play Mercy. I think that would make a
Oh,
lot of sense. If they want to slow the game down, they picked Numbani already, which, on point side teams can get stuck a little bit. I wonder if Slurpee, well, it looks like Slurpee is going to be playing Mercy. That's what they're showing right now. I like that idea. I think
nice
you can
call.
take the game at your own pace. If you're on the offense and on your defense, you can try and set the pace a little bit better. I think tempo controls is going to be really important in this map. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the results of this are going to be. It's going to depend a lot on Serpi's performance.
And that's so much pressure on Slurpee to try and, lead St. John's to victory, essentially. We have University of Connecticut already getting set up, and, well, they are set up all across the board. It's going to be a lot of different angles to pressure, going to be a lot of different angles pressure is coming from.
This is going to be interesting because look at the competition we see on the offense, right? This looks purely like let's build up the Dragon Blade or the Nano Blade, right, and get these win
Ooh.
conditions online. That's purely what it looks like, and that does kind of feel to me like it's going to be a slower offense. But we also see the Genji from Nelsie on the defense, so this could just be whoever builds this Nano Blade or Nano Winston faster. It's about building ultimates right now and being better in the poke phase.
And both of these Anas here, well, they're about neck and neck in ultimate charge. So it's also going to be on the backs of the DPS themselves. So far, though, Connecticut doing a good job at holding this defensive point. They've taken Jolton Joe down early in the fight, but I like that St. John's, doesn't always mind going in one man down. They've already gotten a kill as a result. They are able to kite away and give space to let that anti-nade wear off, and they are still continuing to aggress here on this point. It's kind of chaotic coming from all angles, but it is being successful here. There is even more aggression, and it is tough for Connecticut to hold this.
I mean, they're going to give it their best go. They started to get their Zarya charged up, and Nelsie started to get involved in the team fight. I think it's 3v3 right now.
Oh, no.
But Azdark and the rest of Connecticut will be able to hold this out.
Wow. Not even one tick either, Ocean. That is going to be tough. Oh. Now, see, these are the woes of a diva player, right? You are literally given the short end of the stick all the time, and you're expected to catch all the ultimates and defend everybody all the time. It's a rough life out there for the off tanks, and well, it is still a little tough here for St. John's to push through this choke point. It is, I mean, there's a lot of sight lines to push into, and with Deadeye online, there's zoning on the table. Everyone's stuck in the grab. They didn't even need any additional ultimates to follow up after that. They just free fired in to the high ground, Ocean.
Limerick and Koala couldn't do anything to kind of get up there and defend them all in that That's just a really good, intelligent Graviton Surge from Azdark. Played really well so far in this series. Kind of the reason that you can't even have points A right now, and the reason they won this second team fight. Yeah. And look, this is going to be the most important team fight of this entire series to me. This is going to be about setting the tempo. It's about using your win conditions. Can, if you stay, get the value with the Genji, with this potential Nano Blade. No!
Oh my goodness. This Deadeye in the back line ripping through St. John's unexpectedly here, and he was so far away trying to keep space, and it is up to Rich here to try and keep the dream alive. Pockets coming through, and melted down in a heartbeat. Poor Slurpee. It is tough. But I gotta say, Easy Dirk is so charged up, and as soon as they got charged up, they started ripping through St. John's attack.
I'm not sure your Boy Wings needed the Primal Rage there. I know your Boy Wings is a very, has a lot of personality and probably just wanted to make the play there. I don't think it was necessary, right? You definitely didn't need those ultimates. And look, I will be real. Look at the ultimates across both of these teams. This is going to be about tempo. This is also going to be about just win conditions. Which of these Genji players can pop off the most? I imagine both of these teams will go for Nano Blade. The problem for If You Stay right now is that Disguise has the rally.
2 blade kills already, opening the gates for If You Stay. Definitely staying around the point now after so many kills coming through for St. John's. There are the ticks they were looking for, and with such a clean team kill, Ocean.
Yeah, and I mean, they needed If You Stay to pop off there, right? Like, factually, that was their only hope of capturing points. It was a good couple of points some point in time, right? I think that just Azdark in particular was able to really show up for UConn on that point. But now it's time to snowball hybrid. It's a surprisingly snowbally game. And look at Azdark again.
Man, that is a tough grab, and I love how preemptive and aggressive the grabs coming through from him are. Right? You're trying to retreat. No, don't run away. Come back. You can go back to spawn.
You know the way I said at the start of this map, they're typically just an aggressive team, not really proactive UConn. I lied. Azdark just throws these grabs instantly. They're very active, and they're quite difficult to deal with.
Yes, especially with, the timing on it seems to be catching St. John's off guard. That timing, though, definitely caught Connecticut off guard. Beautiful self-destruct over the top, and, well, that's going to allow St. John's to move the payload, because they just took all the space and all the lives.
This is interesting, though. Both the supports are actually pocketing Azdark here. I think they used the Nano Boost onto this Zarya player. Has another grab built up, but the supports are gone. Oh, and the grab?
What? Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
That was an optimistic grab to try and take down that many, although he was very charged up. Azdark was very charged up.
I mean, I understand you're going for it, but you lose both your Nano Boost and your Graviton Surge there. I mean, at least Azdark's not going over to the Diva, which probably makes a little bit more sense. Just to kind of play like a more direct mirror matchup, which we're kind of in, apart from Slurpee on the Mercy.
And St. John's is going to be happy with that exchange because they're pushing into the third point with a lot of ultimates on the line and after forcing out a couple of big ones from Connecticut. So get really excited to see them engage here. There's still more room for them to continue pushing forward, and there's a couple of kills in the process. A nice anti landed on St. John's, but there's not anyone to pressure them down and really follow up on it. I feel bad for whoever gets stuck with Jolton Joe when he primal rages in this tiny room, Ocean. It is going to be not fun. It's going to be death, and they are going to get booped like crazy. Oh, this slept on the point right away. Thought he was going to be moving over to try and zone members of Connecticut from touching the point, but St. John's just going to go ahead, pop even more ultimates, continue trying to roll this cart forward. There's only a couple of stragglers left from Connecticut that St. John's needs to clear out, and there it is, 121 on the clock, pushing the cart all 3 checkpoints.
That's exactly what St. John's needed to do. I think they controlled the tempo very, very nicely. And I think we have to credit Slurpee a lot for that. Comes into the lineup. In that first team fight, I actually thought St. John's played the better Overwatch, even though they lost it, right? Because they built up the nano, they got a good resurrect, and they were able to actually set the initiative of the fight first. Unfortunately, Asder just popped off on the Zarya, some good tracking and
jeez, I wish my grabs charged that fast, Ocean. That was insane.
Well, I don't know why you're saying my name after that as if it's my fault. Just get better at Zarya.
take more damage when I bubble you.
I take enough damage, alright? I can tell you that. I can tell you that for a fact. Look, right, I actually thought St. John's played that excellent. They controlled the tempo brilliantly. I think a lot of it does have to do with the fact that Asdirk and Helpful Fox invested the nano boost and the graviton surge into the last team fight on point B, unfortunately. Yeah. I think that was a mistake because the rest of the game, right, I think we just saw Slurpee and Co. and Slurpee and the rest of St. John's just up the tempo, and they had every right to do that because that forced some swaps out of Connecticut. It reset their ultimate economy, and from there, you're always going to have the advantage, and it's what you do with that advantage that counts, and St. John's used their advantage very well.
It also basically let St. John's push the cart through the entire streets phase. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of time. That is nice for them. They're feeling good moving in, and I mean, they're set up on this high ground, getting ready for Connecticut to aggress forward, right? Trying to spread out, being mindful. They don't want to be too close together when the dive comes through, but they want to be able to help and reinforce. There it is, a nice follow-up from Jolton Joe, helping out the aerial duo. And once again, St. John's holding this point.
Yeah, it's a pretty sensible counter dive. I like that. I like that counter dive approach from Jolton Joe. Usually, like, you can position a Winston up there, you can kind of just cleave and get a little bit of spam damage. But I like the counter dive approach because your boy Wings just felt safe going up to that top line. Did not expect to have the pressure of potentially being body blocked or counter dived by another Winston. That's good positioning, good game sense from Jolton Joe, and that's completely won them that team fight. No ultimates really online to speak of just yet. It's again just going to be about how those Winstons engage and counter engage.
Oh, on the skirts here from Sam on Connecticut, trying to find someone out of position, but just found out himself. It's going to be trying to put some additional pressure on St. John's from another angle, but sectioned out. You're alone on going up against a team that is going to be following up on each other's plays, and once again, it's going to be St. John's holding this defensive point.
The one thing I said at the start of this map is I would like St. John's to be able to slow this game down. I mean, like, we've barely had a team fight and we're a minute 40 into this round of Nimbani.
Where's your crystal ball, Ocean? You seem to be doing that a lot today.
I actually have no clue. A little bit of luck, maybe. But I think these two teams are quite predictable, right? Not in a bad way. It's just they're very definitive in how they like to approach the game.
Left.
Oh, no!
Yes! Your boy Wings. Oh, man. The woes there for Liam. But it's okay. He was woken up in the thick of St. John's, which I think I've told you this before, Ocean. Not a big deal if you wake him up as long as you kill him and they don't kill me.
look, that could have been bad. That was a scary monkey. Like, could have been like not far away from Primal Rage.
Yes.
Oh, that could have been a dodgy moment. But your boy Wings is struggling right now. Does get okay, as does Jolton Joe. And again, this is gonna be interesting because we're gonna see like an interesting team fight where Nelsie has got this Dragon Blade but doesn't really have much support with it. I mean, maybe your Blue Wings can, cause a little bit of drama, stir up the pot a little bit with Primal Rage.
Bubble thrown at the top there, and there it is. Aggression here from Nelsie. Goes ahead, slices Liam Lizard in the back line, but a lot of other people trying to back up. There is a res for the other support here for St. John's, but there's still some damage being done. The aggression here, self-destruct, zoning people out from St. John's. No one can really get on the point. One tick already in favor of Connecticut. Now you see Jolton Joe pretty much alone on this point as he's stalling it out. Connecticut here wanting to go ahead and take it, and there's some reinforcements behind him. St. John's trying to continue holding this point, dancing around here. Are they going to give up this third tick so easily? Yeah, there it is. Connecticut just going to go ahead, aggress forward, and prevent anyone from St. John's from being able to contest.
Yeah, no, I think it's smart that they didn't come back in and contest the third take or point tie in general. The only real tool they had to probably stall out that team fight and maybe make it longer was Rich on the Echo, and Rich wasn't coming back for a long time. All right, that wasn't going to happen. I'm glad they didn't take that approach. And now you look at it, right? You got the duplicate and you've got 2 support ultimates for this next team fight on this corner.
And if you stay, got that early pick on their counterpart, Soldier DPS, and St. John's knows when they're up a man, they just continue to press forward. The duplicate here from Rich, booping members of Connecticut back into the heart of St. John's for their own death. Such good plays.
Why has Rich got the best primal tech in the lobby? That's an Echo player right there.
That's because Echo players also have to fly, and that is a very difficult technical skill.
Is it? It's just pressing a button.
You've seen me fly. It's not so pretty. And
Sorry.
Oh man. Either way, it is a hectic fight here. There's visors being thrown left and right, and in the end, Connecticut still rolling the point on forward. We see St. John's here stepping back, and they are going to have a chance to actually regroup and hold.
Yeah, they've got the ultimates to do so as well. Primal Rage to kind of make this fight longer, get a little bit of longevity for potentially Rich to build up another ultimate. And of course, Slurpee's Valkyrie. This is going to be important to setting the tempo, making the game a little bit slower until Rich builds up that ultimate. Rich
Nasty! Is gone. Oh my gosh! He just jumped in the sky, sliced Rich out of the air, and then continued to make his way through the remaining members of St. John's. That is the OP ability of the Genji Dash, and why it gets reset when he ultimates, I have no idea.
It's because, well, let's be real, Genji's trash outside of Nano Blade, right? She's one of the best win conditions in the game, right? But Genji doesn't have too much going for him outside of that, right? But one thing that's really important here for Yukon is they've been using Nelsie's Dragon Blades and win conditions very, very well. It got them point A and it got them point B. So that's impressive. It's an important skill. And now they've identified, okay, we're going to swap over to the Brawl. It's a more linear point, this point C. The question is, they've reset a little bit of ultimate economy. Is that going to bite them?
We have 1:52 on the clock as well, so we are slowly approaching the end of the time bank. Duplicate here coming through from Rich as another Reinhardt, and Shatter, so long of a suspended Shatter, probably got booped around even more, and a 2K self-destruct onto St. John's in the thick of all of the confusion. I think they thought Rich was going to come up big as that Reinhardt, and well, now it is all tough here. A nice zoning self-destruct from St. John's to try and give themselves a little bit of space, a little more time to just slow down and whittle away Connecticut as they push forward.
They needed that time as well. This is critical. They got Nano Boost off, but what are they waiting for now? I guess a Valkyrie and maybe a Denai. If you stay, it's going to have to be the player to watch.
Your boy Wings able to back off, wait out the anti-healing there, and well, the res is successful here onto the back line for Rich. It is still 66, but soon after, Jolton Joe goes down. Connecticut has the momentum, they have the sound barrier, and they have the numbers ocean. All they gotta do is continue to clear out St. John's one after another. It's a trickle fight here for them as they try to just stall out this payload, but the time bank here is being wasted away. If they can make it into overtime, this is a very, very clear win condition for St. John's, but 30 seconds left, and they are gonna squeeze out the full map completion.
Wow, I really didn't think they were going to do it. I thought that self-destruct was actually going to just end it there because it slowed down the game, and then they were able to get the nano boost on the defense. But as after that nano boost went down, and it kind of went back into a 6v6 fight, there was no real plan, there was no objective to what St. John's was doing on the defense. They were like, okay, we're going to slow the game down with the self-destruct, and then it was like, okay, what do we do next? They didn't really pick a target or whatever, right? That's something that can be fixed. It's not like an immediate concern. The immediate concern is it let UConn in and allowed UConn to take us to additional rounds of Mimbani.
And it's those follow-up elements that you're talking about that really define the teams in the top tiers of these brackets. And it's the consistency of those follow-ups, just like we talked about in the beginning. Being able to recognize, like, this is one win condition, but if that's shut down or if that's mitigated or they live through that win condition, what are the next steps? What are the next steps after we've taken the tempo back to the pace of our preference?
I mean, it really depends, you know. Okay, we've got it slow. What do we have available to us? We could maybe put a Cassidy on an offline, go and try and get Joe's value. Oh, we got a Deadeye. Maybe Joe goes aggressive and the Cassidy gets a nice setup. It really depends on what, you know, what composition you're running, what players you have, and what sort of plays they like to make, and what tools you have available to you. And again, I think it's favours St. John's. They're on the defense first. They can try and slow the game down right on their defense. But once they lost their diva instantly.
Yeah, that was a filthy coming through from Liam Lizard, instantly tagging 3 people with the grenade. That is a lot of healing off the table. Connecticut has to back off. Then they're split off, right? They've got a couple people. They've lost, Sam there in the back line. I'm surprised that they're not clearing out Connecticut. That's just sitting here waiting. They know Helpful Fox is on this.
They might just go for Sam and just take it like a 6v1. Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They went for Sam.
Nice call, Ocean, and there it is, a 6v5 coming through. St. John's has the upper hand. They are going to go ahead, just avoid that amplification matrix coming through the window, and now your boy Wings and his friends, once again, they are all antied all day. Overtime bar has triggered. St. John's wanting to hold this first point here of Numbani.
That's better decision making. All right, we've got Connecticut stuck in our back line. There's a player over there. We're just gonna kill that player and take the 6v5. And this is one of the main concerns I have with St. John's. I know they've just had a really good team fight and a really good defense, but they're inconsistent. Like that's the only problem with St. John's, right?
That's what we talked about. Yeah,
they're one of the best teams in the league. They're a top 8 team, top 5 team, no matter what. I think the top 8 and top 5 line is a little bit difficult to talk about.
I agree. It's yeah.
It's
very gray.
16 weeks is not enough to kind of discuss where these teams are. Like you probably need a full year to decide, who are the top 5 compared to the top 8. They're in that area, but I never think of St. John's as potential championship winners. If they get rid of that inconsistency and they control the game from here on out with Slurpee in the lineup, then maybe, just maybe, we have to think about it.
It's a lot of pressure right now. And St. John's, as you recall, is they're down 1 point, right? It is double elimination, and they do not want to go home from this conference championships. And they do have an extra 50 seconds in their time bank in comparison to Connecticut. That could be huge. That's a lot of time to build resources, Ocean.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised if he stays not going for the Genji. Yeah, because they actually set up themselves really well on their first offense for some ultimates, and they were building their ultimates well. But maybe it's too risky. Maybe your Genji gets shut down early, and you don't actually build up that Nano Blade. It's just a wasted pick. Trace is just a safer hero, I guess. So I can respect that.
And there is only 150 on the clock for their push, but they only need 1 tick against Connecticut, and that means Connecticut cannot afford to give any space once St. John's decides to actually engage on the point itself. A kill there on Rich there on the side, and it is going to set St. John's back to the reset.
Look, I think the only positive out of this team fight, and actually the only thing we can take from that team fight, is look at the Nanobase charge. Liam Lizard is ahead by a considerable amount. This is going to be the most important ultimate that we're going to see in this round, maybe this map, maybe this entire series.
If you stay, should you go? 2 kills exchanged, and oh, it's actually St. John's with another one to follow up. They get the res successful, so they're back at full strength, Ocean. This is their go button to push. They have the numbers, they have the resources, and they are starting to get that one tick they need to secure their win here on Numbani and tie up the score. Last person cleared, and we are heating up the series.
Yeah, St. John's, what an excellent map from them. A little bit inconsistent, but they did all the key things right. They set the tempo well, and at the end, right, their win condition was get nano boost first. That was kind of that entire last round in Numbani was get that nano boost first. They got the nano boost first. They were proactive. We also saw the Winston player, your boy Wings, for Connecticut, go into that backline, right, and was unable to secure a kill. If your boy Wings had that nano boost first, they secure a kill onto the Honor, and then St. John's are the team in trouble. So, I mean, you got to give credit to Liam Lizard. That's the player that won you that game. They built nano fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Joe may have done the feeding for it, but Liam Lizard hit the shots. Liam Lizard got the nano, and that is why St. John's have brought us back to 1-1.
Which is fantastic. And I'm not sure if you guys got to glimpse some of the player cards that popped up. We were talking about how effective Slurpee was and how much impact that she needed to bring and could bring for St. John's to really turn the tide here and set a new tone against Cincinnati. 67% offensive participation. So a lot of calls being made from her. And obviously, she has got her sights everywhere if she is actually jumping around, helping, and uh, the win speaks for itself, Ocean.
Look, it does really. I mean, she didn't really put a foot wrong. I mean, maybe a couple of little tiny mistakes, but nothing you're going to really analyze. Like you sub her in. We're going to make the game slower. That was the objective of subbing Slurpee into the lineup. Make the game slower. That was accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Totally.
Map was won. That's all you can really hope for, and that was a good map from St. John's.
I am excited to see what's going to play out next, Ocean. These teams are 1-1 in their past seasons, and now we're 1-1 in the series. We are going to go to our assault map next, but we're going to throw it to a quick break. So we'll see you in a moment, folks. Hey folks, and welcome back to the EGFC East Conference Championships. We are in the thick of the series, Ocean, of University of Connecticut up against St. John's, and man, it is intense right now.
Yeah, it is very intense, and it's